A segment we're calling New Year, New You. So as we roll into 2015, we're going to examine some different things that maybe will change your perspective, broaden your horizons as you get into this year of 2015. This morning, we're kind of talking about the idea of taking up new hobbies. You know, they say one of the best ways to keep your mind sharp is to learn something new. Well, this morning, Paul Steinman's with us from Guitar and Banjo Studio Beaumont, where we're going to talk a little bit about the idea of beginning to play guitar. And it's almost, you know, Paul, to me, good morning. First of all, Happy New Year to you. It's good to see you.
Happy New Year.
It's that idea, to me, learning guitar or any instrument is kind of similar to learning a new language, isn't it?
Well, it is. You have a lot of fundamentals that you have to learn, and there's new techniques that you're unfamiliar with. But I would venture to say that learning guitar is probably easier than learning Spanish or French.
Well, you might be right. I guess it was more like the idea of testing, you know, putting your brain through new paces and new places that you haven't been. And if you want to read music, you know, that can be almost like reading a foreign language sometimes, for sure.
True enough.
All right, so I'd like to start from the perspective of a beginner. If I come into your shop and I have no knowledge, I just know that I'd like to learn to play an instrument. Is guitar the one that you would go to first before banjo or mandolin or anything else?
Yeah, I think so, because the guitar is a little more versatile. I can't think of a type of music that the guitar doesn't fit into. It's used in everything from classical to Cajun to folk, bluegrass, jazz. It's a very versatile instrument, and some of the other instruments you mentioned, like the banjo or the mandolin, although you can play them in many types of music, they're a little more associated with folk music or bluegrass.
Right.
Those types of Americana types of music, but the guitar is very versatile. It's also portable. It's easier to get around than, say, a piano or some of the larger instruments. They're affordable. You can get into a guitar, a beginner guitar, for a little over $100, and there's lessons available. So I mean, it's an easy instrument to learn to play,
right.
and it's, everybody's familiar with guitar. I mean, most popular music was either written on or has guitar in it somehow. So.
Well, let me throw this curve at you, though. I heard somebody say the other day, if you really wanted to start basic, before you'd go to a guitar, you'd go to a ukulele. Four strings versus six, and yeah.
Yeah, it's a similar. In fact, here's a ukulele here. It's a similar instrument. It has strings, it has frets, it doesn't have as many strings, it's got 4 instead of 6, like you mentioned, so but the chord forms are similar, and so that's actually not bad advice. I think that, especially for kids, because they're smaller, the children can hold them like a guitar, but it's not so big that they can't reach around it, but that actually is a good point, because it does allow you a little bit less to deal with in terms of the number of strings, but you do learn some of the same techniques that you would on guitar. So, that would be a good gateway to guitar.
I was about to ask that. Can I transition if I started on a ukulele, which I understand the price point might be a little bit less as well? Can I transition from that into a guitar? Will it be a comfortable transition?
Yes, because the chord forms, the positions look the same. They're in a different pitch, but they're the same type of fingerings, and so yes, it would be a really good instrument to gateway from to the guitar.
Would both of these, I mean, if I'm starting out and I'm looking for a new hobby and I just want to tinker at home, I'm not, my ambition is not to play, at the log-on with you or anybody else. It's just to be at my house and do this. Can I teach myself how to play the guitar?
It's easier now to learn on your own than it was when I was coming up. We just had books and records, with the needle, and now you've got YouTube, you've got all these digital devices that slow music down and change the pitch, and
right.
Your iPhones will tune your guitar for you. I mean, it's technology has really made it a lot easier to learn music on your own. So it's much easier now than it was.
All right, I got about 60 seconds here. Show me a guitar. Show me a couple. If I'm walking in, that would be your starting point as far as beginners go. And next time, maybe we'll talk about the next level.
Sure. Well, this is a kind of a standard acoustic guitar that we have. It's made by Fender. It comes with a case, and it's got some instructional material like a DVD and a tuner and basically all the stuff that you would need to get started. It's a little less than $200, but it's a really good sounding guitar. And as we've talked about before, a critical thing is the playability of the instrument. If it's hard to play, it's going to be discouraging, and you're going to have a hard time learning. And it doesn't matter what it sounds like or looks like. If it's tough to play, you're not going to do very well with it. So that's something that we can help you with and pick out a guitar that is easy to play for you. So.
All right. No matter which one it is, though, you better get your fingers ready for the first couple of times.
There's some break-in.
Paul, I'm going to take a break. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some more. Play us out if you want to, and then we'll continue to talk a little bit about what's coming up this morning. We're going to check back with Dana, get a look at what's happening in your forecast this morning. We'll also look ahead, see what's going on in hour number 4 of the morning show.